Yes, good morning, students, and welcome to the class of SAP. Good morning, Nagraj sir, and a warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you so very much, madam. Very good morning.
Yes, sir. You may please start the session, sir.
Sure. So a very good morning and a very warm welcome to all the students. So yesterday we were trying to understand a few terminologies specific to SAP. And let me also tell you now, understanding the finance module could be a little challenging because I'm going to introduce a lot and lots of new terms, but nothing absolutely different from what you can connect to the actual business. As I've always said, SAP should be understood only by understanding what you actually see and you have heard about in the business. Nothing, absolutely nothing different at all. After all, what is SAP? You are converting the business, whatever your organization was performing, and you are trying to use the SAP product to help your organization's everyday jobs, the routine jobs. Yes. So this is exactly how you actually can learn SAP. Convert all the understandings into the live business scenarios and your live business terms. That is all. Now, yesterday, lot many people had question as to what is a. Now let me start. Let me not take up. Let me go through all the things in a detail and in a methodical way. So as we discussed yesterday, we have the finance module. Why do we have to have a finance module? Because yesterday we already discussed as to why the finance module in your business or in SAP forms the key component. You agree with me? Because any business is nothing but your money, exchange of money. You get money, you spend money. Money goes out of your business, money comes into your business. So who else who who else can handle the finance exchange better than the finance experts? You're one among the finance experts, more towards the costing side, right? But you people are the most important component of the business because you decide, you form a part of the strategic decision making. I mean to say the cost and the management accountants. Now, whenever we are talking about the finance module, now we have understood why the finance is very much required for the business. So also the same logic applies to SAP also. Without the finance functionality, your SAP will not proceed, or rather cannot proceed. At least I have not seen any SAP implementations without the finance module. Why? Yesterday, we spoke about something called as the organizational structure. We spoke something about the organizational structure or the org structure. It can also be called as the org structure. Organizational or the org structure. Now, what does this mean in SAP? This means the organizational structure means the flow of the data happening within the module or across the different modules. Now, what is a module? Module is nothing but the different departments in your organization. So how? For example, between and within the module, I said, what do I mean by that? How does the now we broke down the finance main module into further submodules, right? So what were the submodules? We had the general ledger, we had the AP, we had the AR, we had asset accounting, we had banking, we had treasury, we had taxation. So many things we had, right? Now, how does the accounts receivable talk to the general ledger? How does the accounts payable talk to the general ledger? Is what really I meant by saying communication or the flow of data within the module. Across the modules, I think by now you should be comfortable enough. We have always been talking about the purchase and the finance, right? The flow of data between one department to another department, from the purchase department to the finance department, is the data flow between two different modules. Now, necessarily, every module will have an org structure. Invariably, if you take the purchase module, it has its own organizational structure. If you talk about the sales and distribution, it has its own org structure. Right? So when you talk about the finance, we have already seen what is the org structure, or rather we are still seeing the organizational structure, right? The most important component or the most important node in any of the organizational structures is something called as a client. Yesterday, I saw a few questions in the Q&A section as regards this concept client. What is meaning by logical space? I remember the question. Somebody had asked me, what is a logical space? It is nothing but whenever you are handed or whenever you get into an SAP project, you are given the SAP server to access. Suppose I am working for a specific project, let us say Measures A Limited. I will be given the server in respect of Measures A Limited. Right? It has its own identifiable features. It has its own router, it has whatever it means. Right? Now, so when I am getting into a specific SAP space, within that SAP server, I, as an authorized user of that particular SAP system, I will be allotted some space in the form of something called as a client. So what is a client? It is simply the space allocated to a specific user to work upon that respective SAP space. Now I think this client is clear. Okay. Now, the next most important thing what we said or what we spoke about was the fourth entity called as the company code. Now, what is a company code? How does your business start? You have to establish your company. Correct? You have to register your company with the according to the Companies Act. You'll be your business entity will be recognized as a unique legal existence. It will be considered as a legal person according to the Companies Act, right? So whenever you want to implement SAP for your company, you will also have to construct that company in your SAP system. Suppose I am implementing SAP for Hindustan Unilever Limited, or maybe say TCS, something. So, for example, your Hindustan Unilever Limited. I'm just taking an example, don't worry. Or maybe say even for Reliance. Don't I have to bring in, don't I have to construct this legal entity within the SAP system? So this construction of a legal entity, Hindustan Unilever Limited, or your Tata Group, or your Reliance, is called as the company code. It is called in SAP as a company code. Shall I pause here for a minute so that you will be in a position to understand what it is? Take a few seconds, try to understand what I'm trying to tell you. If you still feel it's a little complex, please get back to your Q&A section and post your question there. I will take it up. I'll just pause for maybe say a few seconds, allowing you time to understand this concept. Try your best to understand. Okay. Even if you have not understood, absolutely nothing to get worried about, nothing to get tensed. As I've always been telling you, give yourself time to understand, but understand it thoroughly. I'm not explaining anything complex at all. Because you are at the end of the course, you are not expected to have the consultant's expertise. The aim of this sessions is to make you feel comfortable in the SAP environment. Clear? With the hope that you have understood this concept, I will go ahead with the company code. So basically, what is it? It is a legal entity within the SAP system. Okay, you have registered Hindustan Unilever Limited with your registrar of companies or whatever. You have finished all the legal processes and your Hindustan Unilever Limited is being identified as a unique person now by the Companies Act. So you are creating the Hindustan Unilever Limited in your SAP system as a company code. Clear? And whose job is this? This is strictly the job of a consultant. The end user or anybody else or any person from any other module except from the finance module will not create the company code. It is only the finance consultant who creates this entity in the SAP system. The second point, independently generate the financial results or the financial statements. So any business needs to present its financial results to the government, for the tax purposes or whatever could be the reason. Correct? So you have your balance sheet, you have your trial balance, you have your profit and loss account, you have whatever could be the other results that you will be drawing based on whatever business you are doing, right? So when an entity can generate these results, financial results independently on its own, then and only then it is recognized as a company code. Confusing or is it okay? Clear? Now, we had a scenario. We took up this scenario of a Reliance group. Now, what are we talking about? Reliance group has so many businesses under it. You have the Geo, you have the Smart, you have Trends, you have uh, insurance, you have petro business, and many more, many more. Reliance Fresh or whatever. Okay. Okay, let me put that also. Correct. So when Reliance has so many businesses under it, each of this is producing the results on its own. Geo has its own balance sheet, its own profit and loss account. And that is how Reliance Group is knowing the individual performance of Geo, of Smart, of Trends, of Insurance, of Petro, of Fresh, of something else. Do you agree with me? So whenever Reliance Group is announcing the result or publishing its balance sheet, it is presenting the result of the whole business. Clear? Why is it happening? And how is it happening? How is it happening means all the Geo, Smart, Friends, Insurance, Petro, Fresh is reporting its results back to the Reliance Group, to its parent company, to its corporate office, to its head office. And then and only then the Reliance Group is publishing the results of Reliance Group. It is not individually presenting the results of Geo or Smart or Trends or Insurance or whatever it is. Now, what does this head office refer to as in SAP? So whenever there is a, see here, when I'm implementing SAP for the Reliance Group, I need to study the business of all the businesses pertaining to Reliance Group. All right, I will not be introducing or I will not be implementing SAP only for Geo, only for Smart, only for Trends. Yeah. So as a consultant working on the Reliance project, my responsibility would be that. So when such is the setup, the mother company or the head office or your group company, by whatever name you want to call, that is referred to as a company in SAP. It is the head office or the mother company or the group company, whatever it is, by whatever name you want to call. So this becomes the head office under which you create the company. Now, here there is a scenario. Now, if I want to implement, let me assume a scenario that forget about Reliance or something. I'm implementing SAP for ABC Limited. So ABC Limited has only one business. Now, do I have the concept of the head office and the company code? ABC Limited is the company code. I will definitely have to create measure say ABC Limited as the company code. So I do not have the concept of consolidation. I do not have the concept of reporting to my head office. Clear? Did you understand the differentiation now? So in that case, in SAP, this becomes mandatory, compulsory. Your group company is not compulsory. When I do not have the parent company, my parent company itself is the company code, then I do not have the creation of the head office at all. I simply can create the entity as a company code and start my finance business. Understood or not understood? Let me add a few more points. Now I said in yesterday's discussion, I said for a person who wants to take up consulting, SAP consulting and the finance as his or her career, the learning never stops at the finance module itself. He or she is also responsible for the management accounting side of SAP. Obviously, right? It's only the finance person who understands the management accounting also. So in that case, if at all, Measures ABC Limited also wants to have the management accounting module also used for its business, you have a concept called as, you have an entity called as this also not compulsory. Suppose Measures ABC Limited wants to take up management accounting at a later point in time. This creation of this entity is not mandatory, not compulsory, but it becomes compulsory when you want to have the management accounting. Whenever Measures ABC Limited wants to have the management accounting also to be active, then and only then the consultant will create a entity called as controlling area similar to your company code. So for now, what did we learn in the previous half an hour? We learned that the company code is the compulsory creation as far as any module is concerned. Even your purchase module creates its structures, creates its organizational structure below the company code. Same thing happens with the sales and distribution module also. Same thing happens with your HR module also. Is it clear? So the company code becomes the most critical of the organizational structure as far as the SAP project is concerned. No SAP project can happen without the company code. Because you should have the company to do the business, right? You should have some business entity, which is your company code. As simple as this. Nothing more, nothing less. Clear? Guys, I do understand that things may be getting a little complex. Of course, that feeling is very, very natural, but do not allow it to disturb your thinking. Okay, you should not start feeling that, oh, I'm not able to understand, or oh, is it so complex? Absolutely nothing. In the initial stages, it may sound a little difficult for you to understand, but not impossible. Okay, clear? Now, what else did we learn yesterday? We learned some very, very interesting concepts, normal business concepts, very, very regularly happening things in any kind of a business. We spoke about concepts called as parallel ledgers and parallel currencies. Why do we think we should have this concept? Why do you think SAP should have ever given this feature? Now, you cannot say, you cannot, as I said, SAP is a global product. It is not that you use SAP only for the US business, only for the Europe business, only for India. It is not at all so. Now, today, I am having my business operating from Bengaluru, operating in India. But tomorrow, I may expand my business to any other country also. It could be Australia, it could be US, it could be Germany, it could be Dubai, whatever. So what is necessary? I should also understand how my businesses will report to the respective governments. I cannot follow the same accounting principles in Dubai. Whatever my business follows in India, I cannot apply the same principles for reporting or even for accounting in Dubai or in the US or in the Europe or in Australia or in Japan or in China. There could be difference for reporting or for operating the business also. So to satisfy the legal requirements of those specific countries, you have the concept of parallel ledgers. So I can have one ledger for Dubai reporting, one for the Indian reporting, one for US reporting, one for Europe reporting. Okay? And if I establish my businesses in the other countries, shouldn't SAP also offer me a feature to enter the transactions in those currencies? It could be dinar, it could be dollar, it could be mark, it could be pound, it could be Australian dollar. Shouldn't it allow me to enter the transactions using those currencies? Yes, SAP has beautifully offered the concept of entering the transactions in parallel currencies. I can as well operate my transactions in any of the desired international currencies. Yeah, this is the concept of your parallel ledgers and your parallel currencies. Because I took you through the what should I say? The course content, and I saw these terms. That is why I thought it could see the only intention for now is to allow you to understand or to make you understand what SAP offers as a product. Clear? Okay, now I'm shifting between the finance module and the general features of SAP. Clear? As and when I saw some new terms, and as and when I thought it was the right moment for me to share, I have shared the information. But as and when you go through the course content given to you, if you have any questions, we will definitely take it up at the appropriate moment. Clear? Now, in the finance module, you have lots and lots of things more to understand. All right, what SAP has to offer and how is it offering? How is SAP offering things in finance? So we'll go back to the slides and we will try to understand what we need to actually do. So we were in page number 200 plus 255 or something. Manik, can you please, and again I repeat, this particular unit or this particular topic I will be dealing at the in the middle or maybe even in the last part of the discussion. I think by now you should be able to understand what is integration and what is the business processes. Okay, so we will definitely read these units in detail. Now this was our discussion. Madam, can you please confirm if you are able to see the course
Yes, sir.
content?
Yes, sir.
Perfect.
Visible, sir. Visible.
Okay, yeah. So now we have already seen this GLARAP. Please spend some time reading the slides. As I said, excellently supported. You have videos, you have obviously you also have the audio. Okay, we'll go to lesson number 1. So we have seen this is the reason as to why I took up that parallel accounting. Clear? We saw the parallel ledger. We saw the parallel currencies. Okay. Don't worry, we'll read it. We'll read it. Not a problem. We'll spend some time on that. So this point we are already aware. Legal requirements, external reporting. I think by now you are comfortable with these terms. Post all the financial transactions, revenues, and the expenses, P&L statement, balance sheet. Keep the unchanged system for reporting. I'll quickly skip some of the slides which are too very generic. Instead of spending time, I think you'll be you'll be easily able to understand these slides. Very generic. Okay, so let me not spend time on this. Let me spend time on the key important things what SAP has to offer. Need for parallel accounting. So we saw this IFRS, US GAAP. This is another accounting standard specific to Germany, HGB. Okay. Need for parallel approaches. We already know this, right? So whenever you read this slide, you'll be in a much better position to understand it in a easier way. Okay, at least you know what it actually means. So we have already seen this, why parallel accounting should be allowed. All right. So we have already seen the ledgers. Yeah. Let us see the purpose of financial accounting. Should not be new to you. So please read the slides. Okay. If at all there is something not understandable, please put up your query in your Q&A section anytime. Need not be necessarily tomorrow. I will not give you like time to say that should read all this by tomorrow and ask me questions. Absolutely nothing. Read this, but read whenever you want. Please read, because this has been prepared with so much of effort and wonderfully prepared. So this slide also, I'm not seeing anything which is not understandable. Okay. If there is something else, definitely we will discuss on that. Okay. So we have already seen this asset accounting, GL, AR, AP, assets, bank, taxation. So please read them. Let me not waste too much of time on this. So how does how does this accounts payable functions they take place within SAP, and how does the account receivable functions takes place? How is asset accounting happening in SAP? All these things we are going to take up. Okay. And they can also be called as subledgers. What is the concept of subledger? I will tell you. Okay. Okay. Now, since there is already something called as a subledger out here, do not get confused with this parallel ledgers. This is different from subledgers. Parallel ledgers is only for your reporting for the different accounting principles. Your subledgers are your individual customers, your individual vendors. See, Reliance, Tata's, Hindustan Unilever. All right. They could be dealing with hundreds and hundreds of customers, hundreds and hundreds of vendors. So each customer, each vendor, each business they're referred to now We do not call them as vendors and customers. In SAP HANA, they are referred to as your business partners. Now we no more use the term customers and vendors. They are referred to as your business partners. Okay. So each of the business partner could be a vendor, could be a customer. They are referred to as your individual sub ledgers. Individual sub ledgers in SAP. Clear? Okay. So I was just looking at something which is very different. This is the most important of the modules, submodules in your finance module. One of the very, very key submodules within finance is your asset accounting. And there is a difference. So if somebody asks you how ECC is different from HANA, what is ECC? The earlier version of SAP, and HANA is the current version of SAP. Okay? Your asset accounting, the way ECC was handling asset accounting is now differently handled in SAP HANA. Since we have not touched upon asset accounting, let me keep quiet now. But it's just a heads up for you people saying that this also is the differentiation point as far as the ECC SAP is concerned and the HANA SAP is concerned. Clear? So now you have the lesson summary. Okay. Probably you'll be having questions also. Lesson number 2, the general ledger accounting. Wonderful. Any questions till now? See, I wouldn't want any comments without knowing the. So I saw one message saying that the faculties need to be on time. For that person's information, I had logged in by 10:50. And there was some technical glitch. So without knowing the reasons, please do not post any harsh comments out here. OK, it's only pertaining to the topic and the faculty very well aware as to how to keep up the time. OK. So we do not have to talk about the punctuality or anything like that. OK, let's avoid that. Yes, there is a question saying that does each individual in an organization using SAP have a profile in the SAP to process? Yes, the profile meaning each individual user of the SAP system will have his own SAP user ID and a unique password. Okay. So if you have 100 users in your organization using SAP, each person will be having his or her own user ID and his or her own password. Clear? Okay, the client concept is still not clear. Okay, I'll repeat client and the company code once we come back from the break. Uh, I was just reading this question. Basically, company code is a code given to the legal entity. Perfect. Yes. Can you give an example with a parent company? I gave you an example, the Reliance and the Geo Smart. So the Reliance Group is a parent company. Your Geo, your Reliance Smart, your Reliance Fresh, your Reliance Trends, they become your company codes. I hope I have answered this question. Yeah. No. One, Anish is asking if the transaction code is the same as the company code. For now, please know the answer is no. The transaction code is not the company code. They are not the same. Okay, I will take up this question a little later. Okay, but now, as far as the current moment is concerned, it is a no. Clear? HUL is Hindustan Unilever Limited. I do not have to explain. Client is a specific server on which I'll be working on the HUL project. Clear? So I may be having one SAP server for Hindustan Unilever Limited. I may be having one, or rather I will be having one unique SAP system for Reliance, assuming that I'm working on 3 or 4 projects at one point in time. I'm also working on the Tata Group. So I will be having these many clients, these many SAP systems respective to the project I am working on. I hope I have made myself clear. All right. Yes, Reliance will have multiple company codes. Okay. Yes, the company is having different branches. Suppose now Reliance Fresh has one branch in Bengaluru, one branch in say Mumbai, one branch in. Yes, they are they'll be having one thing as the company code. Okay. How can I access previous recordings? Okay. The corporate office and the head office, they are the same. There is absolutely no difference between the corporate office and the head office. Clear? Joint ventures. Let me take it up a little later. Okay. Lots and lots of differences as far as ECC is concerned with HANA. Okay, one majorly, it is a database. Majorly, HANA is using a different database. It is an indigenous. HANA itself is a database developed by SAP itself. In the earlier version, SAP was using in the ECC version, SAP was using Oracle as the database. Clear? How individual subledgers are created? Just hold on. Okay, let's not discuss as to how things are created, because this is the major job of a consultant. I'm answering the question as to how individual subledgers are created. Definitely, when I get into the SAP system, I will keep you informed on this, but really not required as to how you create the individual business partners, the customers or the vendors in the SAP system, because it is the job of a consultant and only that of a super user or of a power user, not from the ordinary end user perspective. Clear? Yes, the T codes in HANA and in ECC will definitely differ. Yes, you probably some of the transaction codes. So people who do not, I'm just simply answering this question. As I said, transaction code is a different concept. This is just to answer this person who seems to know what is a transaction code. I'll just answer this question to whatever he has asked me. The transaction code in SAP ECC and SAP HANA is different. Most of the cases, it is different. If you try to use an ECC transaction code in the HANA system, some of the transaction codes may or may not work. It says the transaction code cannot be used or it is obsolete. It is no more applicable as far as the HANA system is concerned. Clear? See, normally a very sensitive thing. If you want me to answer this question, you cannot log into the SAP system using the other user IDs. If that is the thing happening, SAP will immediately cancel the license. This cannot happen in the live SAP scenario. This will not happen. The sharing of the user IDs is strictly prohibited. Very strictly prohibited. Why? I will tell you the impact sometime later. All right. Never it is going to happen. And the second part of the question, you cannot log into two different clients in the same SAP system. In the sense, on the same laptop simultaneously, you cannot we cannot log into different clients in the same system. You should log out and log in. Simultaneously, it cannot happen. In the same system, if I'm logging into different clients, available. Yes, I can I can do it. Okay. Probably you'll be having a lot of clarity when we take up this. These are all the practical portions. I'm not talking theory just in thin air. This theory, whatever I'm talking about, you are definitely going to link it to the practicals. Please be very aware. I'm not simply whiling away my time and talking about the theory. Theory is as important as the practicals. Clear? Make that point very, very clear. Be very clear in understanding this. This is not a story. Sorry, no. This is the real SAP, what I'm talking about. This is the building blocks. This is the foundation for you to get into the practical SAP. Clear? Please be very, very aware of this. Is this mandatory to maintain parallel ledgers? See, it all depends. I have told you under what circumstances you use the parallel ledgers. It is up to you whether your business is expanding to the other countries. It all depends on what is the business requirements. Clear? If you are remaining only in India, then there is no concept of parallel ledgers because you are following only the Indian accounting system of accounting. So one ledger is more than it. You do not have the concept of parallel ledgers. I hope you have understood the scenario. MNCs, yes, because they are operating in different countries, multinationals. So that is why they would definitely require parallel ledgers. Clear? Madam, can we take a small break for 10 minutes?
Yes, sir. Sure, sir. So it's 12:10 now. Students will be taking a short break of 12 till 12:20. Just be back. Take a short break and be back by 12:20. We'll resume after at 12.
Sure, ma'am. Yeah.
Yes. Sir?
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready.
Yes, sir. We can resume the session, sir.
Okay, ma'am. Okay. So after the break, we were just uh, going through a few slides. Okay, so it becomes mandatory that you people read the slides, spend some time on the slides, right? Uh, One more point what I wanted to make is SAP is, so even before you practically work on the SAP system, you should be equipped with what exactly you are trying to achieve. Suppose, see, why so much of theory? Why so much of talking? Is because even before you get into all these business processes and the finance activity, you should know what the product is giving us. Yeah. And for you to understand the product, it becomes inevitable. See, suppose there is some thing called as marginal costing. So have you worked on marginal costing or unit or say unit costing practically? But you have the subjects in your CMA, right? So isn't it happening theoretically also? So similarly, the same logic applies to SAP also. Now, the reason as to why we are giving you this and talking about this subject is because you should know what SAP is all about. Practically, yes, you will always be having the practical side of SAP. That is always there. But even before that, try to understand the terms. Suppose after you're all qualified CMS tomorrow, when you get into the SAP environment, you should know what is expected. You should know the terms in SAP. And the whole course is designed for you not to become experts. And please make this very, very clear. You will not be able to create anything in the system. You will not be allowed to create anything in the system. I will show you everything after you get hold of the system. I said I'm going to show you all, but the creation side is not what is expected from you. I hope I have answered so many of your questions, whatever you have asked in the Q&A regards the practical side of SAP. Yes, definitely we are going to see it. We're going to discuss each and every possible screen. And as I said, the subject is very, very vast, very huge. The finance topic itself, you will see it is so very interesting and quite, I would not say, I would not use the term complex or something. Okay, very interesting and lots of things to learn. Even before you get into SAP system, you will you will have to have a thorough understanding of what SAP FI is all about. That is the reason as to why you have a 965 pages slides. Can you see the number on the top? And SAP has not created this simply. It is with a purpose, and professionals have prepared this. Clear? So this is the background with which I'm going to continue my sessions. Now, Understand general ledger accounting. Explain organizational elements. We saw organizational structure, right? Now, what is an organizational element? Now, even after you finish your CMAs, if at all you will be getting into SAP, even as an end user or whatever, you will definitely be asked these basic questions in your interview. What do you understand by organizational structure? Clear? So it is very, very essential, very, very mandatory that you definitely focus on the theory, focus on reading this particular slides. Now we entered into a new term, organizational elements. Now slowly we are going to look at what are the organizational elements, specially or specific to the finance model. Each module has its own organizational structure and has its own organizational elements. Just while browsing through these slides in the business processes, yesterday I took you to a slide where it said purchase organization. That is one of the classic examples of a organizational element which is belonging to another module, not to FI. So here we are going to look at all the things and understand what is an organizational element. Maintaining general ledger master records. So we are already aware of what is a master data, what is a master record. And somebody yesterday made a wonderful point saying that the data is of permanent in nature. You're very right. Yes. The master data will not change frequently. Posting transactions in the general ledger. Posting. So we will get introduced to all this. OK. Let us go through, and I'm not going to spend this much of time for every slide. OK, I'm going to. This is what you're supposed to do. You should read, and but my duty is to tell you and simplify your life as to helping you to understand what is expected for you to understand these slides, right? And ultimately the finance model. Let me not spend more time on this. Now you should be in a position to know what is external accounting information. External reporting. We have all seen this. We saw the concept of parallel ledgers, right? Correct. So we saw ledgers. Why do we need ledgers? Only when your business wants to report its financial results across different geographical locations based on the accounting requirement or the legal requirement of that particular country. This is clear. Now in SA, what is this leading ledger 0L? Or what exactly is leading ledger? Now I have set up my business in India. That becomes the leading ledger. So the base country of your business becomes the leading ledger. All other countries wherever I'm establishing my business becomes the non-leading ledgers. Non-leading ledgers. Leading, non-leading. I hope you have understood. 0L, the leading ledger 0L is a part of the standard SAP system. What does the standard SAP system mean? Meaning it is delivered by SAP. So this concept of the leading ledger is already embedded within the SAP system. You do not have the opportunity to create your leading ledger at all. Not even the consultant. The consultant creates only the non-leading ledgers. If you're able to read this, the other country reporting apart from your base country is your non-leading ledgers. Clear? This is your ledger approach. This is exactly what you mean by parallel ledgers, parallel accounting. If somebody asks you, how does SAP help me in reporting businesses in different countries? Just two words, parallel accounting, parallel ledgers, just two words. That's it. I hope you have understood. So the non-leading ledgers, depending on the countries wherever you want to establish the business, the consultant creates those many non-leading ledgers. The SAP system will never give you an opportunity to create the leading ledger, and the leading ledger is identified by the 0L. Why 0L? It is a standard SAP definition. There is no reason as to why it is not 1L or 2L. No, it is a standard SAP definition. The leading ledger is defined in the standard SAP system as 0L only. Now, what do I mean by standard SAP? So you see the sentence continues is a part of the standard SAP system. So whatever project you're working on, whether you're working on the Hindustan Unilever project, whether you're working on the SAP system of the Tatas, whether you're working on the SAP system of the Reliance, whether you're working on the SAP system of Measures XYZ Limited, the SAP system by its own definition has delivered 0L as the leading ledger. And to add, please do not get confused. If at all, I don't know if I need to make this point now, since I've already started on ledgers. And since we have already read the slide about standards and non-standards, let me look for what is that ledger, parallel ledgers. Can you see this parallel ledgers? So 0L let me do this in caps, defined by SAP. 0L is the leading ledger defined by SAP automatically. Clear? Actually, this should have been the okay. No, let me follow the discipline of how they have organized this. I hope you have understood the concept of leading and non-leading ledgers or parallel ledgers. It's more than okay. A posted FI document. Let us reserve the statement for some time later. Just hold on with the statement. I'm not going to explain any further on the statement. Okay. I will tell you what is posting. Again, it's the leading and the non-leading. Extension ledgers is nothing but your non-leading ledgers. Okay. We have come back to the first and the most important note where he starts defining what is a client. Prior to carrying any financial transactions, let me not tell you it's only the financial transactions. I would probably alter this line saying that prior to carrying out any transaction, the transaction could be pertaining to HR, your transaction could be pertaining to materials, your whatever. It is essential to establish the organizational structure and the organizational elements in any module, not necessarily only in finance. Okay. Now, let me experiment with playing the video. I don't know if you're able to hear to it at least faint. I don't know what to do. It's a wonderful video. Please. Did you see the definition? It's an independent unit. What are we defining? We are defining a client. It has a set of its own master records, set of tables. So in the very first session, or maybe in the second session yesterday. Now, what is this new term called as tables? Is it new? I think I've already told you what tables mean on the very first day. So when we were discussing about ECC SAP and HANA SAP. So the ECC database, by now you should be aware that, or probably you would remember that Oracle is a database and Oracle stores the data in the form of tables. So in ECC SAP, you have master tables, you have transaction tables. All right. So you have one master table for your general ledger accounts, one master table for your customers, one master table for your vendors, one master table for your banks. Clear? One master table for your materials. Clear? So, and the same transaction tables for your vendor invoices, for your vendor payments, for your customer sales invoices, for your customer receipts. You all have the individual transactional tables also. And within the tables, how is the data held? How is the data stored? In the form of fields. I remember I had made a note of this. Let me see tables and fields. So both, even in HANA, it is the same concept. You have tables, you have within the tables, the data is held in different fields. What is a field? Please hold on. I will tell you at the appropriate moment. Okay. So because I saw that. Now is where your definition starts. Please do not worry about this word post. Smallest organizational unit of financial accounting for which a complete set of accounts can be drawn for the external accounting or for external reporting purposes. So nothing new. Independent accounting entity. Clear? Now, how SAP is defining the company code? Suppose you have Hindustan Unilever Limited. I have Tata Consultancy Services. I have Reliance Fresh. I have Reliance Jio. I have Reliance Smart. How do I define this? You know, all these are called as company codes. Perfect. Now, in an organization, suppose some of you join one particular organization. How are you identified within an organization? You will be given your unique employee IDs. Clear? So the same concept applies for SAP to define and identify a company code. You cannot have a big name called as Hindustan Unilever Limited. Okay? Reliance Smart, Reliance Fresh. Now, a company code is defined with a unique 4-charactered key. Now, when we spoke about we saw something called as 0L. What is the 0L? I said it is the standard SAP definition. Why 0L? No answer. It is defined by SAP, that's it. Why not 1L? Why not 2L? Why only L? No answer. It is a standard SAP definition. And as you can see, it is 2 characters. And it is alphanumeric, 0 and L. Can it be only numbers? Yes. Can it be only alphabets? Yes. Can it be alphanumeric? Yes. Similarly, a company code is also identified by a unique four-character code. Again, it can be less than 4 also, but maximum is 4. Whenever you want to define an entity in SAP, you have some restrictions. As far as the definition of a company code is concerned, it is restricted to 4 characters. Normally, in the live SAP environment, it is numbers. It is numbers. It is defined by numbers only. But can you have only alphabets? Yes. Can you have a mix of numbers and alphabets? Perfectly okay. It can also be alphanumeric. But the only thing is, it should not exceed 4 characters. For example, when I show you the live SAP system, you have something like this 0001. You can also have company codes like this. You can also have company codes like this. Just an example. I'm not intending to give you any kind of a example. These are all just how you can code, how you can use the different combinations to define a company code. But normally you will see this because you saw that 0L and there was a term called a standard SAP definition. This also is standard SAP company code. These two, you will definitely see at least any one of them whenever any SAP system is given to you. Clear? This is how the consultant defines the company code based on the project requirements. But normally, experienced consultants, professional consultants, they always use numbers. Clear? These are all. It is simply, I wanted to tell you, this also is permitted in SAP. How you define in SAP? Perfectly. So it can have numbers only. It can have alphabets only. It can also have numbers plus alphabets. And that is exactly what it is. It can be alphanumeric. So now I think probably things are getting more and more interesting. Correct? At the same time, probably a little too many things to understand also. Okay, don't worry about it. This is a little, can I just put this away for now? And okay, let me make note of the slide 297. Just hold on, I'll make a note of the slide. Because I will revisit this at the appropriate moment. Or I can explain this now and also revisit. Probably the understanding will be a little too much. Okay, try to understand to the best possible extent. All right, because as I said, do not get worried if you do not understand things in the very first instance. Don't worry. Okay, I'll explain not once, not twice, but n number of times. Okay, just give me a minute. Guys, do you want to think about, you want a breather for 2 minutes just to think about whatever has happened? Just take a quick, not a break, just think about whatever has happened for just a minute or two. I'll join you by 12:50. I'll be very much available. I mean, I'm sitting in the same place. But just a small, or I will also remove this because probably you may change the focus. Just think about whatever has happened. Janvi ma'am, do we have any questions for now?
Just a moment, sir. Let me check.
Sure. Or you want me to check the Q&A section one? I can also do that, not a problem.
Okay, sure, sir. But now I think so. There are no questions. It's
No questions.
regarding the attendance only. Some students have asked for, sir, I'll just answer this question which they are asking.
Yes, ma'am. Tell me.
No, I'll answer the question, sir. It is
Okay.
regarding the course content. It's regarding the course content.
Okay.
So students, yeah, just to answer your questions. That is, many are asking where can we get the slides of PDF which sir is showing. So just check your mails. We have released the IDs in 2 batches. So just check your mails. You must have received the mail either in April or in May. And it is mail must be from Energy Vidya. So just check in your mailbox, inbox or spam folder. Just check it from Energy Vidya and you might have received the login credentials. Log in with that credentials and then you will have the, when you log in, you will have the user ID and password for this SAP Enable Now. You have to click on the link and then enter your user ID and password, and then all the help document for SAP Enable Now is also given in Energy Vidya. You can follow the steps and log into SAP Enable Now, which is the course content. Just follow that. I hope it is clear to you, students. Mails you might have received from Energy Vidya. I repeat, mails received from Energy Vidya either in April or in May. To be specific, 14th April or 3rd. Just check. You might have received the mail. One student is telling that you have not received the mail, but you might have received. It is sure. Not now, it is in April or in May. You might have received. Check your inbox or search your inbox with Energy. Energy Vidya. Vidya. Energy Vidya. Just check it. Yes, sir. From my side, it is clear.
Okay. Okay. So shall I presume that you people have understood the concept of what is standard SAP? What is a company code? Has the concept gone in clearly? How it is, or what exactly it is, and what are the uh, I just cannot say it is the rules, but if you say that you need to definitely follow the rules set by SAP as to only 4 characters are allowed to define a company code, you very well must follow the standards. You cannot deviate. Clear? And I gave you the examples as to how the company code can be defined. Clear? It is not only HU, it can be A, B, C, D, E, F, whatever it is. Okay. It is not because I have said HUL, HU01. It does not necessarily mean that the company code should start with only H. No, it is not. Okay. But normally, as I said, it is denoted by numbers. And if you see 0001, it's a SAP company. This also is a SAP company. All right. I will show you when we get hold of the SAP systems. Okay. These are all the standards. Especially the 0001 and 1000. They are the standard definitions of or the standard available company codes in any SAP system. I may open the SAP system in India. Somebody else may open the SAP system in the US. Do I have 0001? Does he also have the 0001? Yes, invariably, yes. I may be working on a different project. He may be working on a different project. But do we still see 0001? Definitely 200% yes. As long as somebody has accidentally not played around with the company code, this company codes must and should be available in any of the SAP systems. Clear? Now, let me go back to the slide. General ledger accounting at company code level. I have made a note of the slide. Okay, now let me go to the next slide. Even before this, I want to see a definition. Now, what is this IDES? International Demo Education System. Okay, this is the sample SAP system. Okay, IDES stands for International Demo Education Systems. The reason as to why I'm not reading the slides is it is you who have to read and come back to me. These things I have already explained. Okay. So you see this codes like 3000, 4000, 6000. They're all the company codes. They indicate IDES US, IDES Canada, IDES Mexico. This is, see, I gave you that 1000. It is Germany. Here, as far as Europe is concerned. Okay, so these are all the examples of the company codes which you may likely see in any of the standard SAP systems. Clear? So these numbers, they don't indicate anything, but they indicate the company code. Clear? As I said, now a trading partner is simply your another company with which you're dealing, or maybe say your customer or your vendor, whatever. Rather, they become the business partners. Unfortunately, you will not be able to listen to the audio. Okay. As I said, I'll come back to this profit centers, cost centers. Okay. I'll explain the segments again. Okay. This comes in your CO. I'm just waiting. Let me make a note of that slide also. 301, 302. See, as I said, at the CO area level. You know what is a CO area now, right? Controlling area. Only when you have the management accounting activity taking place in your organization, you need to define the CO area, controlling area. Until and unless the requirement comes up, you do not define the CO area at all. So I already explained what is a segment. Don't worry, I'll come back to this explanation once again. So please read through. I have already explained it theoretically. Please go through. I'm just wanting to find one. Okay, 309. Janvi, madam, we can break for lunch now.
Yes, sir, sure.
Yeah.
So students, yeah, we'll take a break now and we'll resume the session at 2 p.m. Thank you all. Have a nice day. Thank you, sir. Please be
Thank
back.
you, ma'am.
Students,
Yeah.
please be back. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Students, please be back by 2 p.m. for the next session.